We're going to show you something that's, again, totally different. Let's run over to the house, and got some video of some bucks that you've never seen. Some bucks that you've never seen. We've lost some bucks, but we have wild bucks coming around. And then we have a story of a deer that absolutely ripped a horn, ripped an antler out of its head. It's amazing. And let's just kind of look at that little story a little bit, because this is kind of the most fun week of all, it seems like to me, as I get involved in this. We'll look at that, and then we'll take a look. We'll go to the house and look at the deer at the house. Then we'll take a look at Whitey, and we'll end this mess. Hey, guys and girls, let's go see some deer that we haven't got to see before. I'm gonna try to, if I can get him to look down and eat some of that corn. I'm zoomed in all the way, and I'm up pretty close to him. You can see how that horn is broken off there in the top of his head. I'm about as close as I can get. I'm only a few feet from him, but he's gonna walk away now. But you can see that it looks like it's pretty much completely healed up. And that injury is definitely not going to kill him. Now, his horns may not grow back the same next year. That's one of the things that happens. It'll be interesting to see what his horns are next year. And he should have really a lot larger antlers next year. I mean, he probably look like Forrest or even bigger. You just can't tell from year to year. But he is a high-class hybrid buck with good genetics, and only turned out to be a little 6-point this year. But there's no telling what he might turn out, but they may be messed up because of that. But he's a beautiful little guy, and he's only got that one little antler now, and you can't see it right there. If I can get him to just turn around and get it there, you can see it pretty good. You see how it's pretty well healed up? You can see the broken bone down in there. Now that broken bone part will shed come about February or March, but he's going to make it just fine. That's the great thing, is he's still alive and well, even though he's old one horn. Here is the broken antler from that deer, and you can see just how amazing it is. I'm going to pick it up and move it around, take a look at it. Now, I measured, and that is a full 1.25 inches down under his skin, down into his head. And you can see the break there at the end. I've got it out here in the bright sunlight, and it's really bright, where you can really see, and you see that just blood right there, and that horn completely broke off. Now, you remember he had the little broken there where you could see that broke while it was in velvet and simply curled under there. And that's probably what he got hung in the fence. And as he would pull against that, and he finally broke it off. If he'd have been a larger deer, that would have been a larger circumference, a larger diameter, a bigger horn, bigger round, and they probably would have had a much more difficult time breaking it. But the amazing thing is that the deer is alive. He remembers his little antler up there on that side. That's what it looked like right there. That's the left side. That's exactly what it looked like. And we've got this sort of as a souvenir, but it's pretty amazing when you think about the fact that he's still living. And he's fine. He's healed up. I mean, he's healed up. God has got a way of taking care of these animals, even though they have a tough time and they have a lot of things go wrong in their life. He's right there and taking care of them. And that's the story on that. And that is really, really cool. Well, look what we have this morning. We have 2 wild bucks, totally wild bucks, right there, that have come in here with Lucy's herd. There's my baby Forrest. There's TC. And there's a wild buck, pretty nice buck. There's another wild buck. And he is interested in that little doe down there, he looks like. He's also interested in some free groceries. And he is a really perfect 8-point. He's a year older than Forrest, maybe 2 years older, but look how, see, he's up here, he's only 20 or 30 feet from me right now. He's only 20 or 30 feet from me right now. Here comes another 8 or 9 point end. Again, another totally wild buck. Now, we've got 2 things here that attract these guys. These are wild bucks, and yet they're in here close to me. And they're in here close to me for 2 reasons. One, they understand that the other deer are here, and so it must be relatively safe. They're spooky as all get out, and they're in here also because Jimmy is feeding. Now TC is saying, "Now wait just a dang minute, boys. This is my herd. What are y'all doing in here? This is my food boss. This is my friend Jimmy, and my girls. These are my babies, and here you are in here trying to, no pun intended, horn in on the situation." Yeah, here you are. And that guy says, "I think I'll have some of this food. I got a mix of South Fresh deer food here." This is totally wild deer. These deer were not born in a pen. They have no tags. They were born totally in the wild, 100% wild bucks. Both of them are, looks like 2.5. One might be, that guy right there might be a 3.5-year-old buck. He's a pretty guy. Oh, that's TC right there. I'm sorry. Looky there at him. He's trying to move those other 2 bucks out. Look at him. See him moving those other bucks out? Looky there. And that little doe right there is probably already in heat, so it's going to be fun the next couple months, guys and girls. Jimmy's got to be really careful out here, particularly, with TC and the wild bucks as well, because it is a critical time of the year. And look at him. He's trying to keep that wild buck away. And Forrest is saying, "I don't know. I know how bad TC is. I'm going to be nice. TC's my daddy, but he's liable to whoop my butt." You get that wild buck. Is that cool? Or is that cool? How about a little more close up? He's 20 feet away from me right there. 20 feet away. Beautiful, beautiful. Fat, gorgeous deer. Is this great or is this great? It's trying to rain out here on me again. Look at that. Wow. We are going to take a real quick look at Whitey here, and we're going to look at Whitey from actually outside of the pen, not because I have any worry about any danger inside there right now, because I don't, but we got really quite a bit of, oh, excuse me, quite a bit of rain. Allergies. Quite a bit of rain last night. 1.3 inches. Thank you, Lord. 1.3 inches. And I'm just going to walk down here and I'm getting my shoes wet. I was trying to keep my shoes from getting muddy, getting inside there. And so I thought I'd just walk down here and take a look at Whitey just through the fence. You can see him right there. He's got some girlfriends here on the outside that's visiting with him. And he's got 4 girlfriends inside. We are going to let some more in. You can see how he's interested in visiting with those girls right there. This is going to be an interesting season coming up. It's the rut. I'm walking out here in this wet grass. I'm getting my shoes soaked, my tennis shoes soaked. Just as soon walked in the mud, probably. But anyway, we got Whitey right there. Take a look at it real close. He's magnificent. One of the most prized things about Whitey, of course, he's the only really big buck we've got left, other than TC, who is outside. And we saw the wild deer that have come in, 2 really nice bucks, but nothing to compare with Whitey. Whitey was out in the wild last year. These are some of the babies we turned loose. That's a beautiful little buck, that big deer there. He's a nice size. He could have horns like Whitey and Bazooka and Bubba, and you don't tell what he's liable to have when he has his first set of horns next spring. His first set of horns will be next spring. He's one of them we turn loose. You see how much bigger he is than those does. He's going to be a dandy. And we just hope he makes it. But he's free now. He's got to learn to live in the wild, and he hangs around the pen up here. But there's Whitey. He's absolutely beautiful. He's got 4 girls in there with him. One is that old girl that looks like she's carrying babies when she's not carrying babies. She had triplets. This year, and we've left her in here that she should be able to, hopefully, we don't know exactly how old she is, but hopefully she breeds again to Whitey, and we'll have 3 more triplets. Maybe we'll have 3 boys out of her. You never can tell. The 21 we turned loose, we had 17 girls and only 4 boys, but those girls are going to be beautiful girls also, and they're carrying the right genetics. They're carrying Bubba's genetics and Bazooka and Cyclops and of course Whitey. Well, no, let me take that back. None of those will be Whitey's, because Whitey was out last year. Whitey's babies that are running around on the ranch are bred to pretty much probably local Oklahoma deer. But they'll have Whitey's genetics, so we'll see how that turns out. It's going to be really interesting. We apologize for shooting everything through the fence. Probably would have been better off walking in the pen. We got so much hay down that we don't really have a lot of mud in this pen. We're going to try to entice about 6 more mature does to go back in there into that pen. We'll do that with feed, obviously. And the big problem will be keeping the babies from going back in, because they are hanging around up here. You can see one down there in another pen outside, walking outside. And we've got only does over there in that pen right now, so we're going to probably get Forrest back over there. Maybe sometime next week. We'll see what we do on that. But Whitey is a beauty. He is a beauty right there. We'll see. It might kind of mess up focus. We'll see what that focus is on. He's clear over on the other side. He's a beauty. We're shooting through. Again, we're not worried about him right now. He's still not in the mean state, or we're concerned about me if I was in a pen. He's still my friend. But pretty soon, any male will be competition to him, and he can be dangerous. So we might be a little bit more careful being in the pen with him. And even with Forrest, we put Forrest back in the pen. We'd be kind of mean with him. But anyway, that's what we got there. So let's wrap this thing up. And this is just as good a place as any to wrap it up. We'll wrap it up right here. I'm still standing outside the pen. I just flipped the camera screen around, turned it around on me, and I tell you what, my tennis shoes got wet out here. I didn't want to get mud on them, so I walked in the grass and they got wet. So I guess wet's better than mud. I don't really know. But anyway, that'll wrap up week 25, a very interesting week. Deer wrangling, 20-06 there, ripping that horn off. And, of course, wild bucks coming in. The next few weeks should be very interesting, too. So share this video with your buddies. Tell your buddies it's going to get fun. Even though we've lost some of the bucks, we've had a very interesting 25 weeks. And we're probably going to get some shots of bucks sparring and fighting together up around the house. Because TC, it's his domain, and he's king. But he's got competition. TC doesn't like it.